All right, kids, today, as you can see, we're going to be making Charoset. Now, the recipe that I'm going to publish with this calls for 2 large Granny Smith apples. I don't have those. I have Fuji apples, and they're kind of little, so I'm going to use 2 of them. This entire recipe is those apples, raisins, walnuts, which we couldn't use at the school because we do want to be as responsive as we can be to the fact that some of our people in our community can't have nuts. This you'll see in the recipe. I recommend either substituting uh, sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds, but depending on how you celebrate Passover, that may not be allowed for you. Could just be a thing. There's honey, there's cinnamon, there's salt in this recipe, as well as sweet red wine. Because I'm going to be serving this here at my house, and my kids are very, very little. They're like this big. We're going to be using grape juice today. It's fine as well. So, the only thing that we really need to prep are the apples. I'm going to move everything else out of the way for now. I'm trying not to spill this cinnamon. I'm going to be putting these into the food processor, so I don't really need to cut them up all that much. Cut straight down that way, not getting to the seeds. And then I'm just going to do that same thing all the way around. I'm left with this core area. Get rid of that. I'm going to do the other 2 apples the same way. Now, because I don't want this to spend a whole lot of time in the food processor, I'm going to cut these pieces up a little bit more. Big wide dice. You don't have to go as fast as I do. I've had a lot of practice. That's all the knife work you have to do. This is our food processor. It has, so far, just the apples in it. What we're going to do, we're going to add our cinnamon, a pinch of salt. Depends on how big your hands are, how big that pinch is. I'm going to go with 2. Walnuts, raisins, and our honey. Now, this is not a ton of honey that's going in here because the grape juice itself is pretty darn sweet. Apologies, this is going to be kind of loud. I just pulsed it twice because I don't want this to be completely mush before I add my grape juice, which I'm going to do now. And I'm going to make sure it gets all the way around in there. And that's about as much as we want to do. This is the texture right here that I like to see in a Charoset. I want there to be pieces because we're not making baby food. We're just getting all of this stuff chopped up. You can, if you want to, chop all of this by hand. And if you have an hour, that's not a bad way to burn up an hour while we're all stuck in our houses staring at each other. This serve by itself with just some matzah, or what I'm going to do is I am going to make, with my kids, little apple hand pies out of this because I discovered last year making this when I had some left over that it's actually a really good apple pie filling. All right. Thanks for watching, and I will have the recipe for this put up on our social media as well.